starting over in some way is actually going to allow you to reach your desired destination faster, even if it doesn't seem like it right now. This is sort of a continuation of a message that I posted before this, but I gained some clarity about the download as I went, basically. But the examples that I was getting are basically like you thinking that, you know, it's going to be faster, like you're going to have your dream life faster if you like stick with something that you already started, you know, in the past. Like there's some sort of like wrestling in your mind about remaining committed to a direction that you had already put in a lot of like resources into, but you can't think about things that way because it's like regardless of how much time and effort you've already put into those things, you have to pay attention when your intuition kicks in because that's happening for like a reason. And I'm getting that like if you ignore your intuition, and so the example I was getting was like, so say somebody's in the middle of a 4-year program at like in like college or something, and they chose a major that they were invested in or whatever, and then you know they have this moment, they're halfway done, but then they're like, I hate this, and I know this is not like leading where I want to go, and I want to change directions, but I've already invested so much time. You know, I've already taken all these like very like major specific courses, so I just have to commit to this. Like, no, that's the wrong thing to do, okay? Like, for some reason, like the message is coming through that it doesn't matter, okay? You just need to follow, like when your intuition kicks in and is guiding you in a different direction, that is your sign to pivot. Otherwise, you're going to just like create more delays for yourself. Like you're going to end up rerouting yourself back to your dream path anyway. It's just going to take longer. You know what I mean? And then you will have like, well, not wasted, but you would have like spent more energy and more time on something that ends up not working out anyway, right? So I guess like you have to decide, would you rather stay committed to something that you're getting like an intuitive nudge like, hey, this isn't going to work out for you, right? And you're like, no, I already committed to this. I'm going to see it through to the end, okay? You see it through to the end, and then it doesn't work out for you, right? So you have to go, and you're going to have to end up going in another direction anyway, but you are actually saving yourself time in the long run if you pay attention to what your intuition is telling you, regardless of what it looks like in the 3D. You have to trust your inner knowing more than anything, right? Even more than your own, like, ego and, like, fears and stuff like that. And also, you're not running out of time. Like, there's a sense of needing to rush to some end goal. I promise you, if you are just in alignment with whatever is like truly meant for you, it's not even going to take you as much time as you think it's going to take, but also like it's sort of like things will sort of form fit around you and your energy so that it's like as easy as possible. You know, obviously it's not, you know what I mean? It's not going to like, I don't know. But there's this sense of like your path narrowing in some way. Um, Sort of like to make it so that you literally cannot go towards a life that is not meant for you. So this energy could be, you know, uh you trying to like force yourself to finish a certain like career route or like see it through to the end because you already started, right? um or you know, you're trying to like fix a relationship or a marriage even just because you already committed to it, as opposed to just like it's okay to admit that something's not working out and allow yourself to start over. Like I understand that it's kind of, it can be daunting to start anew and like the whole process of needing to get to know somebody, you know. But say for example, like you spend the next 5, 6, 7, maybe even 10 years trying to fix a relationship that you're currently in, or like a relationship with an ex, and then you know you find out finally in 10 years time you're like, this is never working out, goodbye. And then you leave them, and then you know you have to figure out what you're going to do from there, right? As opposed to admitting now that it's not going to work out, okay? And then for the next 10 years you could spend that like, you know, it'll take you maybe say a year to get to know this new person, and then the rest of that you guys are just happy together and living the life that you desire, right? So in the long term, it's not going to take as much time as you trying to like force fix something that's going to end up failing anyway, basically. So I know this can be rough, especially if like you're contemplating leaving a relationship, and they're trying to convince you that like you guys can fix things or things can get better or you can keep trying. it's like an illusion, even if they are not consciously aware of the fact that because they may not even be like, it's not always that somebody's manipulating you, you know. Sometimes people can genuinely believe that, you know, things can get better. Sometimes people are, you know, they lack self-awareness, and this isn't like in a mean way. I think it's part of the human experience in a way to always believe that if you want to change and you want to grow and you want to get better, then you can, but that doesn't necessarily always correlate with like the effort being put in consistently to actually like change. You know, there's like one thing about, you know, I don't know. It's there's like, you know, somebody can want to change as much as they want, you know, as much as they whatever, but it's a whole different thing to actually go through the process, the painful process of, you know, genuinely growing and stuff like that. And I don't know, just take this message as confirmation that you're meant to start fresh, even if it seems like it will take longer to reach your goals, because that's an illusion. It's going to not take nearly as long. And you will eventually end up making the same decision to leave that thing that wasn't working out behind anyway. But would you rather do that now, or would you rather do that in like 2036, right? Like, I'm so serious. Like, this message feels like extremely serious. And I do think that some of you have like tapped into your guides and stuff like that to the point where they're going to block every sort of like so if, say, if you did decide to stay with the like stay in a relationship that was like failing or whatever, and you're just like, I'm just gonna like make it work, well, you're gonna experience blockages in your finances, you're gonna experience like creative blockages, you're gonna like experience so many like, it's just that everything is going to seem, any forward movement is going to seem blocked because you're not meant to be with that person. You're not meant to force that situation. Like, you are literally destined and fated for something else. And like, whether you need to learn the lesson like the hard way, or if you trust your inner guidance now and save yourself, again, like, it's giving like a 10-year like a 10-year process that you could just like do now if you trust your intuition, which I understand that that's not something that is like encouraged to do, you know. um we're always told like, oh, time is money, or like, I know a lot of people around you may say things like, oh, well, you've already spent this like 5 years with this person, do you really want to throw that away and start something new that may not work out anyway? Yes, because it's not going to work. Like, if it hasn't gotten better, it's not going to get better. Like, so you're just delaying the inevitable, basically. So don't be afraid to start fresh. Things will feel a lot easier. They will be a lot easier. Not everything should be a matter of like, okay, what's gonna help me achieve this the fastest, you know what I mean? It's always like I don't know, that sort of like trend that's going around. It's like I don't know, it's like all like young girls are always like cooking shit on like high heat or whatever. I don't know. I've never done that, but like, you know, it's that whole perception of thinking that that's going to get you to, you know, get you to eat faster, you know, like it'll get done faster if I cook it on high heat. But then, you know, what if you like burn it and then you have to like throw the whole thing out and then you have to start again? So obviously that takes longer than if you just cooked it on slow heat from the beginning. Okay? So that's kind of like, I hope that makes sense. Right?